Hi, this is Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer here at our network at USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much to all of our guests, to our team members, to our sponsors, and to all of our elevated listeners. Here at USA Global TV and Radio, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. We celebrate all of our team members, all of our guests, and all of our sponsors from around the world who come and lead their lives with their hearts to help other people walk into their greatness. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. Please contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com and subscribe to our channel.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Earth Show here in USA, Global TV and Radio. My name is Roland Friedl. As you can hear from accent, I'm not originally from the US or UK. I'm from Austria, and I call myself a world traveler. I always traveled all the time. And right now I'm just streaming out of my motorhome here in the south of Portugal. Yes, and a little bit about my background. So my main business is I do coaching, consulting, cancel, and how to call it, sparring for international companies since more than 2.5 decades. That's what I do internationally. And besides that, I dedicate in my spare time when I'm traveling, I dedicate my life to men's world. So 2 hours later, please join us on the Wild at Heart show, a show for men, by men, about men. And the Wild at Heart show, this is the men's work I'm doing since several years. And the other passion is Respect Mother Earth, is the environmental show, is respecting Mother Earth and do something for this amazing planet. Yeah, and the topic today is beyond killer straws, the so-called killer straws that are banned by many governments. The question is, can our civilization survive without plastic? And there's always a very controversial discussion. Plastic, is it bad? Is it evil or not? Well, I mean, like a coin, there are always two sides, a good one and a bad one. Plastic itself is not bad. The question is, what are we doing with it? That's the main thing about plastic. And for example, I give you some example. When plastic became very popular or state of the art in the 1950s, and then everything was in plastic for furniture, parts of vehicles, so wood or iron stuff was replaced for plastic. We use it in the packaging industry when we buy stuff, especially for food and other stuff. But plastic is also very important in the medicine, for example. Yeah, it's much more safe than glass. It cannot break. Especially when you go for medicine, you get a cannula, you get an injection or something like that. Everything is in plastic, and it's only used once, but it's just for your safety and for your health. And there are other plastic stuff like I don't know, plastic in the car for your safety. There's the airbag, the seat belt. There are many positive things on plastic, but I'm absolutely aware that we use too much plastic, especially one-way plastic, when we have plastic bags in the supermarket. We just throw it away, and a lot of packaging material that sometimes is absolutely not necessary. But let's go deep in the discussion, and I'm very happy that today my dear co-host and friend MARCIN KRASZEWSKI, he's a specialist, he's an environmental biologist, and we're going to discuss together the topic, can our civilization survive without plastic? So what's really bad about it? What's good? What's bad? How can we avoid it? So let's welcome here on USA Global TV and Radio on the Earth Show, MARCIN KRASZEWSKI.
Hi, Roland. Hello, listeners.
Hi, MARCIN. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for your time, and thanks for this amazing topic. I guess it's very important. I try to beat out my AirPods. I can hear you much better without this. Okay, so Marcin, as I said in the intro, plastic, well, the world is full of plastic. Since I would say 80 years almost, or 75 years, and in the 1950s started, become state of the art because it's convenient, it's safe. We can produce a lot of plastic. We can partly recycle it. It has some advantages. For example, when we compare to wood or crystal that can break or is heavy, or also materials like iron, aluminium, because it's also, we don't have limitless resources in the mines in the world. So plastic is not that bad, but there's some stuff that we should consider. So maybe we start. I know that you prepared a presentation, but before we start the presentation, tell a little bit about yourself, about your background.
Yeah, so thanks, Roland, for this introduction to the topic. I'm just a simple man from Poland who happens to be an environmental biologist by heart and almost a psychologist. So finger crossed for my master degree this month. And I work with people as a trainer, as a speaker, as a listener in different areas, mostly in HR and also in consulting. So you may want to ask yourself a question: why is this guy talking about environment? How consulting is considered? So in my case, I just follow my heart. So I believe that through some psychological mechanisms, we are also more prone to certain behaviors. So if you want to get rid of plastic, or at least, I don't know, maybe just repurpose it or recycle it, behind that lies some mindset, and about that mindset, I think we should need to talk about as well.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me because of some
Yeah.
technical problems. Maybe we can bring up the presentation, and
Sure.
yeah, I would love to just to start, Marcin, and then I join in when I fix my technical problems. Okay,
Okay, sure.
thanks.
So the title itself is aligned with a scene that we have multinationally a few years ago, when the first information came to the mind of the internet that maybe, just maybe, plastic straws can harm some sea creatures, for example. So based on that, in the short story, there was a policy in many, including Poland and United States, in many states, that actually banned the usage of plastic straws. And now I could hear some music, so I don't know if you could hear it too. So we have a jingle. So based on this protest against those straws, actually it brings our attention to a usage of different plastic products. And the straw is just one example of it. Basically, the straw, because of its shape, can serve as a hiding place for many animals, and then after that they cannot go out. They are trapped by that. Or sea turtles who just mistakes those straws with some creatures to be eaten, and then their stomachs are full of plastic wastage. So we saw the loop, let's say, for the first time in such a big scale. Um, and then there was some action, then there was some policy. And many of us, including me, I must admit, thought that maybe it was a little bit too much, like too big of hair about a simple straw. But it started some kind of a movement. For sure, we can see it in Europe, in Western Europe, about just being conscious about what are we actually buying, whether this is, I don't know, made of this or that, how to recycle it. So based on this simple example of straws, that was probably a little bit over exaggerated, I think some parts of the society started to see the problem and the real connection between what we buy and what the nature, the environment gets as a wastage, as a pollution, as a, I don't know, something harmful. So, for sure, yep, Roland, you are back. I'm sorry
Yes,
for that.
I'm back, Marcin. You know, when you mentioned about the killer straw, and you know what? When these regulations came out in the beginning, to be honest, I was smiling about it. But how much make it sense? I
Yeah.
was thinking about how many long drinks do you drink every day that it makes at the end of the year, it makes an impact when you don't use it. But I guess we have to start. And as you said before, Marcin, people started thinking about it, thinking about using plastic not only as a straw in a cocktail, but maybe also in other parts of our life. That's I guess that's so important. So the question is, can we survive without plastic?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Can we survive without plastic in
Hmm.
general?
Yeah, that's a pretty simple question, and I think the first reasonable thought is that no, we cannot. As you mentioned before, plastic is used in so many areas of our life, and including medicine and medicines and different equipment needed for the illness. So if we just snap our fingers right now and just extracted all the plastic from everywhere around the world, probably it would be some kind of an apocalypse, right? You can imagine people just falling out of sky or whatever. So yeah, no. The answer is no, probably for now. Uh, our civilization, our technology is mostly based on synthetic materials because they are easy to be obtained and easy to be processed at low temperatures, and they are reusable. So probably the plastic will be with us for a long run.
Absolutely. And Martin, as I mentioned in the intro, you know, for example, there are many areas, but for example, safety areas like in medicine, you know, there's a lot of plastic use because it's much safer than glass. It cannot break, or it's lighter than let's say any other materials like iron or any other stuff. But also when we talk about should we reuse it again, I wouldn't be happy if I get a needle that 200 patients before already had intervened. So sometimes it's just necessary that we use it only once.
About reusable plastic for the syringes, for example, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be so sure. I'm not expert on that exactly, but I think that through processing in high temperatures like 200 or 300 or 1000 degrees Celsius, all the bacteria and viruses and proteins and fats are just destroyed. So probably even if we would use this recycled plastic again for the syringes, in my humble opinion, it would be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, last year I did an interview with a guy from Oregon. He is in charge for the supply chain for hospitals, so for surgeries. And he told me that there is a lot of research going on to substitute plastic, especially the one-way plastic. But there's a lot of research done still. And right now, the best and the safest for every patient is just plastic. Yeah,
Hmm,
absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
interesting. Hmm.
yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
So we need plastic, of course. And the question is it always bad for our environment?
Consider the kind of plastic that we talk about. If we think for example, plastic bottles made of just a simple PET, then probably using a lot of them, it's not a good idea, and not for us and not for the environment. because they occupy a lot of space, and they need a few thousands or hundreds years, I don't know, just to decompose whatsoever. So probably the whole civilization would be gone, and these bottles still will be existing. So the problem is, do we really need as much plastic as we are using? As we use. So I would say that the major difference is in the kind of a plastic that is used. So how many years it will take for this plastic to decompose somehow in the soil, and also about the quantity. So, do we really need to carry each, for example, apple in other bag or something like that? So there is too much plastic in packages because of the marketing, and for sure, all the companies wants the products to just shine on the shelf, right? So
Yeah.
the packages are really, sophisticated and interesting and amusing and made of a lot of plastic. But hopefully for the planet and for us, now the trend is going backwards. So, as eco-friendly the packaging is, as the product is popular around especially young people. So,
Mm.
as the people, we have some kind of an influence on what exactly is produced, how is it look like, and whether or not it will be harmful for the planet.
Mm, mm. Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? Marcin, I try a lot also with my foundation, Respect Mother Earth, to avoid plastic, or I collect it. We can talk about this later. But
Yeah.
I had a funny story. I had to go to in a supermarket
Hmm.
because I missed the local market because I always buy local products, and I missed the local markets last Saturday. So I had to go to a supermarket to buy some fruits and vegetables besides the meat I'm eating. And so I took the stuff, and normally you put all the different kind in each plastic bag and bring it to the cashier. But I had it in my bag, but I didn't use one of the plastics. So I put some peppers, some avocados, and stuff like that out of the cashier. And none of them were I had in a plastic bag. And the cashier, she looked at me what I'm doing here, and then she started package each single stuff in a plastic. No, I don't want it. And she said, "Yeah, but we have to." I said, "Why?" "Yeah, because it's safety." I said, "What is safety?" "Well, yeah, because I touch it." "Yeah, you said you can touch it. I will clean it afterwards anyway. I don't want a plastic." It was interesting. I tried to buy this stuff without the plastic, but and in the cashier she puts every single unit in the plastic. So, at the end, I gave up, and what I did is I just reused them for the garbage. But anyway, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not easy, even if you try to avoid it.
Yeah, that's a really funny story. I thought maybe a cucumber is like a threat or something, and it needs to be packaged away because it can harm you or something like that.
The
So,
avocado will bite you.
yeah. So, yeah, I think the problem lies in our habits. So this exactly can be a policy or can be a habit. And if it is a habit, then it can be changed. That's important because we tend to just brag about the reality, telling that all the people are doing like bad things to the planet. Everyone but me, for sure. So, not to be focusing too much on the critic side of the matter, let's see at the bright side. So, actually, how can we use plastic so it would be better for the environment? So, that would be the question.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not about the material. It's about how we use it, what we're doing with it, and how we're taking care.
I think
Absolutely.
so.
Actually, it's
Yeah.
everything. I always say with a knife, it's nothing good or bad on knife. You can kill somebody, but you can also make some nice wooden craft for your grandkid or whatever. It's just about how you are acting. So
Hmm.
when we talk about plastic, it's not. Yeah, it's bad for the environment if we just throw it away and it ends in a river, and from the river it comes to the sea. We know that. I guess we don't have to go deeper on that. But are there any, are there really any, and let's call them environmental friendly alternatives on these issues? I know some people go bamboo, but I'm not a fan of it because I know there's a lot of
Hmm.
herbicides, pesticides used. What are alternatives
Hmm.
that more eco-friendly?
Yeah, so the most commonly used alternative to plastic is paper. So usually paper is made of wood, especially for example, some scraps that are leftovers after furnitures or things like that. But also many trees are just being cut down in order to make some paper bag. So we need to be conscious about the paper too. So, but it's better for sure. It is better than plastic, not non-recyclable plastic to be precise, right? So,
Yeah,
paper would always be better than the plastic that cannot be recycled or used in other way. The next step after paper would be wooden cases, for example, or cases made of leaves of some plants. I saw that bamboo leaves, banana leaves. Yeah, for example, as a packages for some food. Right, in some cuisines, can be used, and also there is a special bioplastic made out of proteins and leftovers from grains of corn, for example, or other grains that are just compressed in the form of a fork or a knife or something like that.
absolutely. I remember I have been in 2017 and 2019. I've been to the Bali Spirit Festival,
Mhm,
and besides, this amazing festival, but what's really cool is the whole festival is absolutely plastic free. So all the food corners are serving the food in banana leaves, for example.
mhm,
Yeah, in banana leaves, and all the forks and knives are is I guess it's wooden stuff like that. But the food itself was served in banana leaves, and they didn't sell any drinks. So, but you had free refill station where you can fill up your copper. I use a copper bottle or a copper bottle or a crystal bottle. So it was really amazing. It's possible. It's absolutely possible to have a plastic free on a festival. As we said before, it's not possible in every aspect of our life, as we discussed before, safety aspects and so on. It's convenient, but sometimes we can really organize something and be absolutely plastic free and using alternatives when it's possible. When it's possible.
mhm,
Yeah, absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. But it's a funny story, by the way, Marcin. I don't know if you noticed this. I don't know. I guess she's Swedish. This little crazy evil Greta. I don't know if you heard about it. Greta Thunberg.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
obviously,
always
I heard about it.
yeah, she's always crying on politicals. How dare you? But anyway, and she was targeting the Chinese government and said because they're eating with sticks, chopsticks, and she said they should avoid chopsticks because they are made of wood and they're cutting down all the forests and we need the forest, for this getting more
Mhm,
oxygen. What is by the way not true, but anyway, and the government said, please go back to school. Our chopsticks, it's not wood, it's bamboo, by the way. Bamboo is growing all the time. But we know that bamboo is an issue. I was, to be honest, some years ago, I was a bamboo fan. I had blades out of bamboo. I had my coffee bag was from bamboo. But then I found out how toxic it is because the Chinese government, the government, the growers, they really use a lot of herbicides and pesticides, what is also a huge, yeah, environmental damage. To say so, when you grow something, okay, it's growing, it's renewable, yes, it is, it's natural, yes, but it's very toxic too because you use a lot of herbicides and pesticides. So there are always two sides of a coin, as I said before.
mhm.
So what can we do actually?
Yeah, so I would say that the best way for using plastic is just use it. So if this thing is already here and you already have that, then just please care for that and carry it with you and I don't know, use it for as long as you can, because thanks to that you will elongate the life of the product and it will not fall into the environment so quickly. And maybe you will pass it on to someone. as well. So, for example, completely aware about today's topic, I'm wearing a sweater that is made of polyester. So this is not cotton, but this is a second-hand sweater that I got, and this is one way of, for example, giving things a new life instead of just throwing them out on a pile. So another thing that I wish to stress here is that we need to be careful not just to follow any, mood swings or I don't know, trends and stuff like that, or fashions only because it is fashionable right now. It's like very fashionable to have a water bottle made of bamboo or something, right? So we need to be careful because if you just thrown out few bottles made of plastic just to buy a new one made of bamboo, then this is just a very bad idea because you just created like a lot of garbage made of plastic. So the best way would be just to use the plastic that we already produce, reuse it, find another ways to process that. There's like a really like a library of ideas in the on the YouTube itself, how to make very beautiful things and very useful things out of a bottle or empty paper bag. Well, yeah, paper bags as well. So there are many ways that the things that we consider garbage can be used again by us, and then we actually can save some money. So if you need to throw it out, then please just be aware where you throw it, and if you consider it recycling it and putting into the right category in your country. And well, yes, you can also ask if anybody wants to have it, or you can sell it to donate it to the Goodwill store to give it a new life.
Absolutely. When you mentioned this, throwing away the plastic bottle and replace it with bamboo one, it doesn't make sense because, as you said, when once you have it, you have it. And what comes to my mind is, many, many years ago, I know it became very unpopular to wear a coat or a jacket of fur, from a wolf or fox or
Yeah.
something. And then people throw it away and I said, okay, man, this animal is already dead. I mean, you have it, take it, use it. Why not throw it away? It doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, absolutely. And another story is about when you say reuse it. And I was thinking about my beloved auntie. She's 82, and I got to see her in spring again when I help in her house and prepare the fire with her. But she collects all plastic bags. When she was shopping, she collects them, she folds them. When they're dirty, I remember once I was getting home a lot of bloody meat for my dog, and she was cleaning them out and trying them, and reusing them. And I was thinking about, well, she's a little bit strange. No, she's really doing the right thing. She's reusing it, and it's not. Of course, it saves money, but she's reusing it. She said, "Why don't throw it away? It's garbage." No, we use it again, and we can learn so much especially from the elder people. Absolutely. One question: can you define the difference between recycle and upcycle? What do you mean?
Yeah,
It's very important that people understand.
yeah, it's really important. So recycling is when you are just donating this garbage to the right operator who just in some process melts it down and is using it to make another products. This is recycling. So the same plastic particles are used again and again and again in different sets of products. And upcycling is actually using something which is garbage, for example, empty bottle, to make a very nice planter. So finding another usage for the same item, it's upcycling. So like bringing it one level up.
Absolutely, yeah. That's very important. We can use it for different things. For example, what I do is because I've been living in Spain and the water from the tap is really, really bad. So I had to buy bottled water, but I didn't buy the small ones. I didn't buy the huge. I don't know how many gallons are in. 8 liters, the huge ones. And then we filled in other stuff. And afterwards, what I did, I used it again and again. I was collecting rainwater in, and then I was cutting them, and then I was sprouting seeds in them, stuff like that, and replanting them. So we can always reuse it as long as possible, and then we bring it to the container, to the right recycled container for the plastic, and hopefully the company will do the right thing on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so much about the plastic. So let's talk a little bit about okay, when we already have it, we have it. Well, let's how to avoid it when we go shopping or whatever. What can we
hmm
do there?
hmm First things that needs to be considered if you really want to care for the environment when you go shopping is actually being aware of what you are buying and how much you really need. So, do you really need like five blouses of the almost the same color, for example? Well, yeah, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I know the shopping is a great pleasure as well, and I love it. But it is important just to be aware how you are buying your things. So, for example, if you are going to buy some potatoes or tomatoes or apples or whatever, then just bring your own bag. You can use again the same that you bought previously. You can even sew yourself a beautiful bag made of fabric, and you can wear it as a fashionable gadget. And if you have your own package, then sometimes you can even pay a lower price thanks to that. And you can just buy like a loose products to your own home compartments. It's even easier than usually, but because you just, you bring your, I don't know, jar or something to be filled in with a product, and then you bring it back to your home and you have it already inside.
What just came to my mind like last week, I don't know, I saw it on social media somewhere. In Germany, there was a bakery store, and the baker invented an opportunity because there's some legislation, some rules. So if you want to bring your own stuff, it sometimes it's not possible because it can be contaminated, and another customer, blah 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 blah. So there's different regulations, and he invented a machine where he puts in the hand rolls or whatever you buy, and it rolls down and comes into your bag. So he doesn't touch your bag and stuff like that. So he had to invent this because it was forbidden under German law. There's some special law.
hmm
You cannot bring in a bakery shop your own bag and he puts it in because he
hmm
cannot touch your bag. He's not allowed to touch your bag. Yeah, it's
hmm
incredible. So he invented a machine. So he put it on and you hold your bag down, and the bread or the hand rolls, whatever you're buying, the croissant falls in.
That's
So
amazing.
when your why is strong enough, there is a how on the water.
Yeah, so that's a great example of a policy that is not updated, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, poor
Absolutely.
guy. Yeah. So if it is not reasonable to bring your own container for the thing that you are buying, for example, I don't know, orange juice or milk, then you can always choose like a better alternative, as we discussed. So you can choose plastic-free paper or plastic-free packages or I don't know, made of wood, bamboo, and other things that are reusable or biodegradable.
Mm. By the way, Marcin, what just came to my mind, what I saw in the supermarket later, I said, oh, why I didn't do this? But normally, I don't buy fruits and vegetables supermarket. I go to local producers. But what their supermarket had, and was really good, is they had, or they sold, they call it fruit and vegetable net.
hmm
So you put your fruits and vegetables, it's a net, and you can reuse it again. That's a good
Yeah,
idea for those who go to buy their stuff at the supermarket and not at a local farm. So please, ladies and gentlemen, don't take the free plastic bags. Invest a little bit money in this net, and you put in your fruits and vegetables, whatever, and you can reuse it again and again and again. It's a good idea too, using this net.
yeah, and it's hygienic. You can wash it, so no worries.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess you can
But
put in the washing machine or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But you can also use like a wax paper. Then you can use like a natural wax and make yourself or wax cloth, right? So you just you just take your cloth, you are using like a bee wax on it, and you can iron it down, and you have yourself this cloth that is hydrophobic, and it also prevents food to go bad.
Yeah. And you know what, Marcin, I mean, people are always discussing in politics and the Greens and the left and the Youngs, and we have to do this and we have to do that. And when I observe them, they don't do it because it's so convenient to go the short way, just to use it and complaining about others, but not changing their habits and their stuff. Because when I go in the supermarket, I always look at other people, especially the young people, and I say, no, they're just talking. They're talking but not doing, and that's what I very often see. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy. We are so used to go this convenience. It's all about convenience. I guess the last 3-4 decades, when we look about the industry, it was all about convenience. We have different machines that make our work. They're washing our clothes. They're drying our clothes. They're ironing our clothes. They're recognizing automatically the floor, they're cutting the lawn automatically. It was all about convenience, but we pay a high price for it. And but by the way, we get obese, so people don't move anymore. They don't move, and we really destroy the environment. So please, ladies and gentlemen, try it a little bit. Don't change one thing where everything are. Like all this New Year's resolution, everything will be different. But do a little step and try to find it out. Like I did. My own story was, I tried to avoid this, and I tried to avoid this, and then I started this, and I started this, and in the end, it's more and more and more, and you get used to it. It takes some time, and then you get used to it to get rid of this convenience stuff. So, Marcin, if there is no choice, no options about any alternatives, what should people do?
If there is no choice, or it's not very convenient to be done, and about the convenience, I would argue about this generalization, because I think the matter is quite deep. So the story that you told, Roland, is a very, very sad story, a story of people that suffer from something, right? Whether this is obesity or dependency, or just being lured with some things that tend to be not so very valuable sometimes. So I would say that we are just searching for comfort, for safety, for a little bit of this feeling of luxurious. So probably this is not something bad, but my point is that we can achieve the same, or even better, with using just eco-friendly products, and not just those with the special marking, or those 3 green arrows, but you really need to be aware of what you are buying, because it's like with eating. So whatever you eat became you, so whatever you buy, it became your lifestyle. So if you are aware of what you're buying, whether you really needs it, what purpose will it serve? Will it bring you happiness, joy? Is it worth it? And the next point is whether this is plastic or plastic free, or whether this plastic is recyclable, uh, or at least you are planning to use it for, I don't know, a lifetime. So you can invest in a thing that is not recyclable. Understand me? So actually, I'm on finding better ways for the same patterns, but just with using different materials and a different state of mind.
Yeah, yeah. But I just want to repeat what was one of your statements in the beginning. It's just think about, do I really need it? Do I really need it? And I changed this many years ago. I mean, for me, it was never pleasure to go shopping. Fashion shopping was never pleasure. I had to, because I needed new ones, because I don't know, my suit was a little bit old, not a little bit old, you could see it was old, or my pants have been broken, or my shoes are broken. So I had to buy new ones, but I never loved to do it. I don't like it at all. I'm not a shopping guy at all. But I was a little bit, I was more on gadgets, technical stuff, like a smartphone or an iPad or some technical stuff. I was into it. But then I realized, do I really need it? And I remember that whenever I want to see, when I see something, when I do window shopping or online, I see something, I don't buy it immediately. I give myself 2 weeks. I give myself 2 weeks about thinking, do I really need it? Was it just because I was in a bad mood and I want to do some shopping to feel better, so like some people do, like an addiction, kind of addiction, or do I really need it? And that's what I learned is not to set an immediate action. So really relax. Okay, so I give an example. Actually, yesterday, before the police sent me away from this beautiful place I was studying with my motorhome, I was Googling a little bit, and because I was writing an article, a blog about motorhomes and fitness, and I saw gadgets, an incredible gadgets from the US. And you get it in Europe, but much more expensive. So I was calling, Bill, are you coming to Europe and bring it to me? And I said, Roland, stop. No. Give it 2 weeks a break and think about it. Do you really need it? Do you just want it, or do you really need it? And I think that's so important, because we see something and then, I don't know, with this credit cards or with this online shopping, it's so easy to buy it. And then the question is, how many things do we have at home that we bought in whatever kind of mood, and we never used it or barely used it or rarely used it? Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point that you mentioned in the beginning, is really thinking about before we buy. Do we really need it? Really need it? Absolutely. I love that point. So the last topic is I love to discuss, because it's one of my favorite ones, is when you see plastic, or how about that?
Yeah, so I think it's so beautiful. You will tell the story in a second, so all the people will know this case. But I just want to mention that bragging about a change, no, that is not going to happen, is really self redundant, right? So if you brag that the change is not coming, then just make a change. If you really care for this sidewalk, or for this park, or for this whatever, just clean it up. Uh, I think the point is that we are trying to just pinball the blame here, right? It's not my fault. It's no big brands. It's not my fault. It's just a policy. It's not my fault. It's the government. It's not my fault. It's a neighbor. And how about you? Without pointing fingers, what can you do if you can see this plastic bottle on the side, Roland?
I just bend down and I pick it up. But I do it always. I always pick it up. And
Yeah.
my friend, I do beach cleaning. I actually last Sunday I was on an amazing beach here in Portugal, and I spent 3 days there on an amazing beach. And to be honest, illegally standing there with my motorhome. But then I saw this plastic. Not only bottles, but small stuff too. But it's easy to be honest, guys. I do a lot of beach cleaning. It's easy to bend down for a plastic bottle. It's not so easy for the small stuff that is also
Yeah.
very dangerous. The small plastic, especially what I found out, by the way, is plastic bottle is very bad. Of course, no question, no doubt. But what kills the animals is the small plastic ring. So when you open the bottle, then there's a small ring left, and this
Yeah.
small ring, a lot of animals, seabirds or fishes, go in and they really die. They really
It's
die.
like a hook or a belt, and it can
Yeah,
strangle
yeah,
the animal.
yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Marcin said, please, when you see something, bend down. By the way, it's a good exercise. It's good stretching. The older you become, stretching is more important than lifting weight. Lifting weights is also important, but stretching, I can talk from my own experience. I go to the gym every day, or even if I don't have a gym like the last 3 weeks at a gym here, but I do my workout. I bend down, I stretch myself. And you really can combine it, when you walk the dog, for example, when you have a dog like myself, you walk the dog, or maybe you walk your cat, Marcin, walk the cat, or you just go out with family, with friends. something, ladies and gentlemen, and like I do, that beach cleaning, friends together in your community say, let's do a beach cleaning, and then maybe we do a barbecue, or we sit down for a beer or a coffee, or if it's not on the beach, maybe it's on a lake, it's in a forest, it doesn't matter, just in your surrounding. Bend down, and it's a lot of fun, especially for kids, and it's part of education is really to bending down and pick it up and collect it and bring it to a container, recycling container, and you've done something good or something really good that makes an impact. And maybe you become a role model in your community, for your friends, for your colleagues. Promote it on social media, and it's all about inspiring other people that everybody can do. And I give you an example. On Sunday, I did some beach cleaning. It was about a bag like this, 10 kilo of plastic or something like that. I was collecting plastic and also this cans, this beer and soda drink cans. And then somebody told me, I said, why are you doing this? And I said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, why are you doing this? I said, yeah, because first of all, it's destroying the environment. It's a beautiful place. We could make it much better. I said, yeah, but there's so much plastic around the world. I said, yeah, if everybody says so and doesn't do it, yes, but we have to start. We have to start. It's like every journey, the longest journey starts always with the first step. And it's all about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, there's some pollution out there, a lot of pollution. Yeah, it is. But you can make an impact, a small one in your environment. And it's all about inspiring other people. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would also say that every impact matters. So if you would pick just one plastic bottle that were laying, I don't know, near to the garbage disposal, and you will throw it in the right place, and you wouldn't tell anyone, and you wouldn't take a picture, you wouldn't post it, you wouldn't brag about it, you would just forget about it. If it becomes your habit, then think what kind of a person you would then be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about ourselves. Yeah. There was a comment, my dear friend, somebody says, what happens to food we put in the garbage disposal? I suggest that we do in the next show, we focus on food, because a lot of food is also ending up not eaten or not cooked or not whatever, and ends up in a garbage disposal. Maybe we do the next show about this, because this is also a huge thing that we produce or stuff, or we kill animals, or we kill the carrot or the spinach, and then we don't eat it at the end, so we just throw it away. So maybe we do a show about this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the question that MARCIN and I have to you is, what inspired action can you take? Yeah, what inspired you? What MARCIN told us. Thanks. By the way, thank you so much, MARCIN, for this presentation and this summary.
Thank you, Roland.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you get inspired a little bit, and please do the first step and become a role model for others. Become a role model for others. That's it. It's not about talking, it's about doing. Doing makes a difference. Doing makes a difference. Especially when you raise up kids or grandkids. Kids are only looking what you're doing more than listening what you're saying. The words you say only have value for them when they see the action too. MARCIN, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we see each other again, not on the 8th of February, we do it in 3 weeks. Again, we see it again on, I guess it's the February 15, and we're gonna talk about how we can avoid food in the garbage disposal. Would be a nice topic. What do you think, MARCIN?
Yeah, I would even add that some certain kind of diet can kill a planet.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, MARCIN, thank you so much. See you in 2 hours on the Men Show. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks. Bye-bye. And please go to our website, respectmotherearth.com. Thanks. See you. Take care. And bye-bye.